Hello YouTube, Sam here from youtube.com/onlivegamer for the new Boston, and in this tutorial we're going to be taking a look at Windows Forms. Now, I'm sure you all have been waiting a really long time for the Windows Forms tutorial, and I felt it was better to start from the console level so that all of the code generated by the Windows Forms applications project wouldn't confuse you. And from now on, we're going to make all of our applications with Windows Forms, no more console stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to create a new project. Make sure you select Windows Forms application, and then we'll just come down here and we will name it Hello World Forms. Now we're just going to click OK and let it load our project. Now you can see here that it pops open this window right here, and you can see from the tab up here that it's called form1.vb, and it has the brackets here that says design. Now basically what this does is it shows what our form 1 is going to look like, and the .vb is just the file that holds all the code for this form 1 and the code that we're going to be adding to it. There's another file that holds the designer for it. Now basically what Visual Basic does is when you add stuff to your window or resize the window, it automatically generates code in a designer file that creates the buttons or the lists or whatever you want, and it adds them to your form, and it puts them in the correct place and sets them to the size that you did, all from you just dragging and dropping items onto your form and resizing them or resizing your form. So let's go ahead and we'll come up here and we'll just click the toolbox right here. And if you don't see that right there, just go ahead and press Control-Alt-X. And it's going to open up our toolbox. Now you can see here that we've got a bunch of tools that we can use. We're just going to go ahead and use a button for this tutorial. Let's resize the form a bit. And we will just change the text value of this button to say hello. You can see here that the button's text is changed to say hello. Now, whenever you're making a Windows Forms application or any application that's going to use buttons or lists or labels and stuff, you want to come over here to your properties and set a good name for your button or item or whatever it is. So if you scroll up here, you'll see that we have a name value. Now, you never want to leave this as button 1, because that could confuse you later on when you're making the program bigger and adding more code to it. You'll be like, what's button 1? Where is it? What does it say? What does it do? So we're just going to change the text value of this to button, not the text value, the name of this to button say hello. So whenever we access this button from our code, we'll know what it is and what it does. So to access the code for our form 1, we can just go ahead and double click on form 1. And you can see here, let me close out of the toolbox, that it creates a sub right here for us that is the form 1 load. So whenever the form 1 is open and it has loaded, then go ahead and do what's inside of this sub. Now you can see there's a bunch of stuff here. You probably don't understand that. I don't expect you to understand that yet, but we'll be covering that later on. For now, we're not going to deal with the form 1 load. We're going to come back to our design and we're going to double click on say hello. And you can see here that it generates the sub that will run whenever somebody clicks this button. So when they click this, whatever code is in here is going to be run. So we're going to start off by typing message box. Now you can see here that IntelliSense pops up and it says displays a message box that can contain text, buttons, and symbols that inform and instruct the user. So we're just going to type messagebox.show, and we're going to use the messagebox.show that uses 2 arguments in the parameters. The first argument is the text that's going to be displayed in the message box, and then the second argument is going to be the caption or whatever is at the top of the text box. So like here's our form 1. If the message box looked like this, the caption would be right there that says form 1. So we'll just do messagebox.show hello world, and then we'll just change the title to let's just do OnLive Gamer. Okay, so now if we run this, you can see that a window pops up right here, and this is our form 1. You can see that I didn't change the title or the icon. Now if we go ahead and click say hello, it's going to pop up a message box that has OnLive Gamer as the title, because that's what we set, and it has hello world as the message. Now whenever you create a message box, it's just going to create a window like this, and the default button to show is OK. Now later on we'll be learning how to add different buttons into there and how to get the input that they put. So let's say they click, we give them an option to click OK, retry, or cancel. We can get what they put in there and then do some code according to what they clicked. So congratulations, that's your first Windows Forms application. You can go ahead and mess around with forms and the code in there. I encourage you to. You can learn a lot by yourself. And once you got familiar with the messagebox.show and adding stuff to your form and changing the size and doing other sorts of things to your form, go ahead and move on to the next tutorial.